Ever After High can be interpreted as a critique of Disney. And I actually already have an entire YouTube video about this called How Ever After High Predicted Its Own Demise, so definitely check out that video if this topic interests you. Basically, what I think Ever After High is critiquing about Disney is the way that Disney promotes their same classic fairy tale animated movies over and over again to each new generation, to the point where like so many people are basically brainwashed into thinking that the Disney versions are the original versions. Like, I have met way too many people who like think that Disney invented Cinderella. Like, Cinderella has been around for hundreds if not thousands of years. Like, Disney did not invent that story. So many people think that because their first introduction to Cinderella was the animated Disney movie. I low-key think Disney wants people to think that because Disney only wants people to buy their versions of Cinderella, to buy their versions of Cinderella merchandise, if that makes sense. Because if Disney keeps people brainwashed and keeps them in this cycle of buying new Disney stuff related to the fairy tales, basically Disney keeps those consumers consuming Disney content. And this sort of parallels what Milton Grimm does in Ever After High, because basically the entire plot of Ever After High is basically Raven trying to figure out whether or not she will go poof if she doesn't follow her destiny and doesn't sign the Storybook of Legends. And very quickly, we start to realize that Milton Grimm is not trustworthy because he basically tells Raven, oh, you have to follow your destiny or you're gonna go poof, you're gonna die, everyone's gonna die. And then as soon as Raven doesn't sign the Storybook of Legends, guess what? She doesn't go poof, she doesn't die, and throughout the series, nothing bad happens. So it's very clear that Milton Grimm was lying, and we sort of start to figure out throughout the series that the reason Milton Grimm was lying is because he's an author. He's one of the Brothers Grimm. And he wants the characters to repeat the same destinies over and over again so that the Brothers Grimm book of fairy tales stays in publication in the real world so that basically he can stay famous forever. And I really do think Milton Grimm is sort of a metaphor for the Walt Disney Company. Like, Milton Grimm is not the real-life original Brothers Grimm. He's sort of like this fictionalized memory. Just like how the Walt Disney Corporation is not Walt Disney. He's dead. It's sort of like this fictionalized manifestation of, like, himself, right? And basically, what both Milton Grimm and the Walt Disney Company want to do, what they want to accomplish, is making sure that the readers only know their versions of the fairy tales so that they can stay famous forever, so that Disney can stay in power forever, so that the Brothers Grimm can stay known forever. And what's really crazy is just like the Walt Disney Company, Milton Grimm, the Brothers Grimm, they also did not invent those fairy tales. They just basically, in like real life, the Brothers Grimm literally just went around Germany and wrote down different folk tales that different like storytellers told them. I just think that parallel is insane, and I also think it's really funny because when Ever After High came out in 2013, that is when like Disney had just started doing the live action remakes. And again, I do think Ever After High's critique of Disney does sort of parallel what the live action remakes are doing, where they're just like telling the same story over again. But it's like Ever After High was so spot on with his critique of Disney because that's like literally exactly like what Disney had been doing. They kept like re-releasing the animated movies, and then they realized, hey, we could also profit on just like making live action movies that are